Hello, I'm Paul Ferrace, President of USS Cod Submarine Memorial, and we're back for another little bit of hidden history on Cod. The conning tower of fleet submarines were constantly in flux, always changing to meet the current tactical needs of the submarine force, the combat situation in the Pacific. And as we all know, submarines late in the war became more or less floating gunboats that were able to dive for a short period of time because they were sinking mostly junks in the South China Sea. So the secondary armament of the guns of the boats increased with each patrol, and the later in the war you got, the heavier the caliber guns. Now, early fleet subs might have had a 30 cal and a 50 cal, and they started out with 3-inch pop guns. But by 1944, they're sporting 4-inch guns, 20-millimeter Oerlikons, and ultimately, as Cod represents late in the war, they had 5-inch guns, 40-millimeter heavy machine guns, and at least 650 caliber machine guns. Well, the 40s and the heavier guns were left up in the water when we dove, but the 50s had to be stowed, and so the conning tower is modified with these pressure-proof lockers. Now, some of the lockers carry the 50 cal machine guns. Others carried spare ammunition for the 50s, and even some spare barrels when we were carrying for the 40 millimeters. I haven't opened this one. Hopefully, we're not going to find Jimmy Hoffa's body when I open this one. There's a good indication of a 50 cal locker. Now you see there's a little extension for the barrel of the 50 cal to go in, and what looks like some tab mounts, probably for wood or rubber bumpers to hold the gun and keep it from getting damaged, because you're slamming it in a hurry if you're diving. That's one of many 50 cal pressure lockers here on the outside. Now, I'm not exactly sure of the exact weight of the M2 aircraft barrel 50 cal that we carried, but you certainly wouldn't want to have to drop it down a hatch in a hurry. So they were kept out here where they could be ready for service in these pressure-proof lockers. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one up. And of course, they just are so handy for storing all the kind of deck fittings that we have. Now, the upper one, I believe, this is for 50s. This might be for ammunition because there is no extension for the barrel. And that locker you can see right in here. Come on, get a nice shot of that. You can see how those are mounted here in the light gauge superstructure, and that large dome behind the two lockers is the back end of our conning tower. But again, these were added in Mare Island in December 44, January of 45, and then additional ones were added just before our last patrol, probably at either Midway or maybe Pearl. Let's go around the back of the conning tower here. This one, I can open this a little bit. We kind of paint things too much, or in some cases not enough. This likely is a 40 millimeter barrel locker, because it goes quite a bit further in, and your 40 millimeters the barrels had a distinct life, and when you started seeing shots go wild and crazy off skew, that was a clear indication that you needed to change out the barrel. So this would have been a spare barrel, again built into the light gauge metal of the conning tower. We'll work on getting that workable, closable. Come on around here. Of course, this was added at Mare Island when we got our 5-inch wet mount. This is a large pressure-proof locker for the ready service ammunition. This would carry 10 ready rounds, and we'll insert here a nice picture of one of our sister fleet boats that was lucky enough to retain the actual ammunition holder that the rounds are stored in. Ours, that holder was removed, and it's just a large cylinder, goes back about 4 feet, and being empty of the ammunition holder, we use it for just a myriad of general things that we need here out on deck. I'll open this one just to show you our naughty mess. We've got everything in here, from some props for the gun when we let kids play with it. We even have, as I was pointing out here, the top end of our propeller key. We'll talk about that in a later episode. In fact, we just located the bracket in the superstructure where that 150-pound steel key goes. The prop key is, of course, what you would use to remove and to lock down your propellers. The key was found in the superstructure about 25 years ago, just sitting on the pressure hull. But we know that it was mounted somewhere in the superstructure. And about 30 minutes ago, we identified what we believe to be the bracket that holds that. We got to do some measurements and check that out. But that's a nice little discovery here, again, because these boats are more or less archaeological dig sites for us. Let's come around the front end. Again, another 50 cal mount. And of course, the 50s were put up on these heavy stanchions you see here, both high and low, so that you could turn the submarine into a gunboat. And up front here, some more lockers. Again, 2 more 50 cal lockers right here on the port side. And what was the 4-inch ready service locker when we carried a 4-inch gun up forward here. And of course this one, folks like to see what's behind things. This gives you a pretty good indication of what the cylinder looks like. You are looking at our lectern that we use for various services and programs here. I don't want to drag, well, I'm going to drag that out. So, Evan, back up so I don't knock you in the lake. I know you don't swim, but you've got our new camera gear, and I would not want to jeopardize that new camera gear. So, yeah, we got a pretty natty lectern here. But yeah, come on in here and you can see we added the vinyl mats down there to protect our wood lectern. Again, there's the empty ready service locker. But again, there's an insert in here that would hold the ready rounds horizontally, ready for service. And again, we'll include some pictures of our sister boats that are lucky enough to have retained theirs. I'm not sure what happened to ours. So there's a little bit of hidden history aboard Cod, and you can finish here, Evan, not that I'm giving you total directions. Zoom in on this lovely lectern here. Don't call it a podium. The lectern gets put on the podium, which in this case is the deck of the submarine. So that's our lectern. Very proud of it. So remember, hit the like, subscribe button, hit the notification tab so you'll be alerted when we post new content. And thanks for joining us aboard USS Cod.